Hi folks, welcome back to my channel. This is part 3 of my Heatwave decluttering vlog. In part 1 I go through some old things from my parents' house. In part 2 I tackle this chaotic closet with a trip to IKEA. And today in part 3 I am finally organizing my small art supplies and I chat a bit about the hardest part of decluttering. I continued this day by taking another swipe at the closet. I reorganized the items I had stored in the bins, making better use of our brand new shelves. I discovered that my new bins were 1 inch too tall for the top shelves. I also took some time to play around with where I had things hung, and I swapped out some hangers. We got some new wooden hangers from our IKEA trip, so I was able to switch out and get rid of some plastic ones that I had been using. Okay, let's talk about what's different. So, let's see, there was a basket up here with like some sentimental sweaters that I'm not really keeping. They're now in here. Workout stuff is in the slightly open bin. I didn't want to put it in one of these closed bins. They look nice, but I'm finding that these are really not good for my brain because I am very out of sight, out of mind. So like sentimental stuff, things I just want to keep, but I really don't need to like be reminded that I have them, can go in here. But like for the workout stuff, I need to kind of be able to see them. Let's see, that's more sentimental stuff. And I actually took the bottom bin out and put some of my backpacks. I just have my hiking one and my hiking pole hanging there. I reorganized the hanging section. Just putting like all the like stuff together. I pulled my partner's suit in here because it was hanging on the bedroom door since February. I took that empty blue basket and I have some like in project sewing stuff that I just tucked back here. Redid some hangers, but I'm gonna let my partner take a whack at replacing his hangers with wooden stuff before I take more. And then I've got this empty bin that has seen better days. I'm thinking of changing that out with a basket I have in the bathroom because that's behind a cupboard. You're not really going to see it, but it'll still hold stuff fine. And using a nice looking basket for something else. And then that extra blue bin is currently full of hangers to declutter, and I'm still figuring out what to do with it. Oh, and yeah, my partner's camera bag fits in there pretty nice. And then that bottom blue bin is empty. I mean, the good thing, I guess, about the closed bins is if they're empty, they're not going to bother me. Because I know people, I don't know, minimalism really loves empty space and stuff, but it kind of freaks me out. If something is completely empty, it's like, is there a very cluttered area that could be dispersed? I don't know. Let me know if you feel the same way, where if something is too empty, it just feels sterile and not like home. Okay, back to organizing. I'm saying organizing at this point more than decluttering because after several days of this project, that was mostly what I was doing. It was hot, we don't have air conditioning, and I was tired. So I just focused on really sorting and organizing these things that I was choosing to keep, so it would be easier to come back later and do a thorough declutter at another time. I started with this box of beads that had come over from my parents' house from a declutter I did not vlog. Part of this organizing was spending a very tedious half hour sorting a bunch of seed beads by color. I won't bore you with too much of that footage, but it allowed me to condense all that type of bead into one container. I also cut up some anklets I had made at camp ages ago to salvage these cool old wooden beads. If I'm going to keep something, I better be able to find it. So I know it's worth the time to sort and put every little clasp and finding in the container it belongs. Moving on to my old jewelry and metalsmithing kit, I found and kept all of my completed project pieces, such as this decorative hair comb. I also kept these small gems and cabochons.
And while it was cool to look over all of the materials and bits and bobs, I actually ended up getting rid of most of it. The box and metal bits ended up getting listed on my neighborhood buy nothing page. I did some quick rearranging of my art bins from the bedroom closet, and I added in the box of jewelry projects that I had decided to keep. Back to the beads, I sorted most things into the smaller pink bin, and then that bin plus the seed beads fit neatly into my yarn and needlecraft box. Finally, I organized my last little pile of odds and ends into my 2 big toolkits. I work in theater, and sometimes I have freelance projects where I need my own stock of small tools and miscellaneous building materials. This particular toolbox is in serious need of its own declutter, but that is a project for another day. Okay, this particular footage may not look that interesting, but this was actually a huge breakthrough moment for me. This box was from my grandmother's apartment. And at this moment, I was listening to an Erica Lucas video where she talked about her decision to get rid of a bowl that belonged to her grandmother. And she said her grandmother's legacy is not the bowl. And that was exactly what I needed to hear as I looked at this empty box that I had been hanging onto for years. My grandmother's legacy is not a cardboard box, and it was finally time to let it go. The next day, I switched out which bin I was using to hold my knitting, embroidery, and bead art supplies. I thought this blue bin would look nicer with the dark brown shelves, and while everything fit nicely in the new fabric bin, I had a moment when I thought the bin itself was not going to fit in the bookcase. It was a snug fit, but I finally got it in there. Here's another section where the footage may not look super interesting, but this is where the real hard work of decluttering happens. Actually getting rid of things. I took some time to sit down and list things on Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, Craigslist, and my neighborhood Buy Nothing group. Of course, I took a moment to look at the cute baby videos of my newborn cousin on Facebook. I'm doing this work in my bedroom because it was still 90 degrees, so I had to plant myself right in front of the fan to stay comfortable. Now for you, the hardest part of decluttering may be just getting started or dealing with sentimental items. But in my experience, those things tend to get easier with practice. But this part remains hard because so much of this process remains outside of my control. I'm editing this video several weeks later, and I have lost count of how many people have asked me, is this item still available? I say yes, and then I never hear from them again. Or how many items had no interest on Buy Nothing, and now I have to face the reality of having to put these items in the garbage. But decluttering responsibly is important to me, so it's important that I at least try.
Super flattering overhead lighting. Okay. The heat wave finally broke. It's only supposed to get into like low 80s today, like around 4 or 5 p.m. I just had lunch and I'm gonna go for a fucking walk. For multiple reasons. One is I have something that I said I would drop off for Buy Nothing, and it's a bit of a walk. I hope I don't regret walking that far. But I want to get rid of that, and then I have quite a few like books and magazines I need to go put in little free libraries, just because my basket of books to get rid of is overflowing. I'm not wearing my glasses. Why did I do that? I will be wearing my glasses because I'm fighting a little bit of like eye irritation, so my hair is down so I can wear a hat because I won't be able to wear sunglasses. Details that you don't need. Yeah, so I'm gonna go for a walk and be outside in the sun while it is comfortable to be outside. I might have talked about in like an earlier vlog, but like it was scheduled to be like 2 really hot days, and then it became like 5 really hot days, and I've just been home and I want to be not inside. So I might vlog a little bit on this walk. Let's go do that. First I need to put on a shit ton of sunscreen because that's smart.
Okay, that's it. That's the video. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I encourage you to go out into the world and be curious. I will catch you folks in my next video. Bye!